Welcome to the Gamification in Banking video masterclass. I am David Gyori. My primary activity is to train bankers all around the world. In the past 5 years, I have given face-to-face training to bankers in more than 45 countries on 4 continents. My core topics include banking innovation, digital transition, and financial technology. My secondary activity is to write about the future of financial services. I am proud co-author of these 4 books: the FinTech book, the Wealth Tech book, the Paytech book, as well as the AI book. All these books were published by Wiley and Sons. I am also proud co-author of a book published in the USA about financial services for Millennials and Generation Z. I am founding member of the World FinTech Association. I am International Resource Director of the Asian Banker Group. And I am proud member of the list of the top 50 global thought leaders in financial technology. I am also CEO of Banking Reports London. Let's focus on gamification. First, we will learn about gamification in banking through specific examples. Let's start as a warm-up with this example of KBC Bank from Belgium. KBC Bank in Belgium created a virtual bank branch. It's a 3-dimensional virtual bank branch where you, through yourself as an avatar, as a 3-dimensional character, through virtual reality or other devices, you can navigate yourself. And there are different virtual physical areas within this branch. For example, in the lobby of the branch, you can get a tutorial how to navigate, how to buy products, how to transact, how to consult. There is a vault. In the vault area, you can log in to your online banking as well as to your mobile banking. You can access your balance. You can transfer or otherwise transact. And there is a support area where you can do live chat, written, and live video chat. You can also learn and literally play around in this branch without getting the COVID-19 virus, because you are only virtually there. For example, one of the favorite things to play is to learn about cybersecurity, very important thing. You can complete a little cybersecurity course and get reward points in return. You even can get levels, like how much you have learned about certain products, how many reward points you have collected, and you can go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 in terms of how much you have learned. So again, virtual branch from KBC Bank in Belgium. Let's move on. Let's go next to Belgium to the Netherlands. ABN Amro Bank. ABN Amro Bank looked at gamification in a little bit different, but also highly relevant and beautiful way. They gamified recruitment. They have a recruitment game. This game is full of fantasy, full of open thinking, full of the future. In fact, the game happens in 2028. We are in the future. The name of this recruitment game is the Lockdown. It's a virtual escape room. It's a mobile gaming app. In this escape room, the task is to save the world from a financial crisis. In this imaginary situation, in 2028, there is a financial crisis looming, and you, as a potential new person being recruited by ABN Amro Bank, have to save the world from this financial crisis. You have to prevent this crisis. In this imaginary world, there are mobile wallets, there are smart contracts, there are cryptocurrencies, blockchain, there are benefits which you can reach. You as a player can select the difficulty. 120,000 potential, young, tech-savvy, open-thinking, creative, forward-looking, innovative young people downloaded this app. The average score in the App Store is 4.7. People love to play. They have played almost 100,000 minutes aggregate. And ABN AMRO could reach a target audience through this gamification, which is otherwise hard to reach by traditional banks, because young people nowadays love to work for technology giants or startups or do their own companies. The employer image, especially the digital employer image of large traditional banks, has been hurt a little bit. What is the message, very smart message, of ABN AMRO by doing this app? Well, the message is innovation is very, very important for us. But imagine how much fun it was to create this game by ABN AMRO type of thinking. Imagine how much the already employed colleagues of ABN AMRO thought in an open way, how much fantasy went into this. Our next example is a very different bank. In fact, it's a credit union from the United States called Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. It's across the United States. This federal credit union pulled off the toy train trick. What is the toy train trick? Back in the past, when physical stores were ruling the high streets around the world, there was a rule, and actually research backed this rule beautifully. The rule was that people walking slowly in front of a store became customers, went inside the store and eventually bought things with much higher probability than people walking by quickly. Therefore, the rental prices, it even shined back through the rental prices. The rental prices of stores with slow walking areas in front was higher than the rental price of stores with rushing fast walking areas in front. Of course, a very smart design could slow people down. What was the quintessential trick to slow people down? To put a toy train in the window. Why? Because things which move slow people down, and children slow their parents down. And when you have a child and a beautiful, excitingly moving, well-designed toy train, chances are you will stand in front of that store long, and in addition, you will slow other people down. Guess what? Grow Financial Federal Credit Union pulled it off in a digital environment. What is this? A digital toy train? No, it's much better. They turned the outside street-facing facades, walls, windows of their branches into huge touch screens. You know very well that young people, which banks very much want to attract, are very much into touch screens. They imagine that everything is a touch screen. So what happens? People can stop there and play games. But why to play games? Well, you enjoy it as a person walking on the street, and you get very little from a bank in general, which you can genuinely enjoy. And you can get rewards. You can win things. You are motivated to play and to do well in this playing. So you can get prizes and rewards. For example, $25 on your checking account. For example, $100 off your car loan. For example, $300 off your home loan. But you know what? You can also just donate this money and donate the prizes and rewards you are getting. You can choose which charity you want to support. And there is a mobile version. There are social media versions of this game. So what you play on the street, standing, touching the wall, you can also go home or sit in a restaurant or cafe and play it. So you can even share this game in social media once you get to like it, once you are already in the process of working towards your $100 of your car loan. You see, it sucks you in, it engages you, it locks you in, digital locking, in a positive way. It's also spreading through word of mouth. People love to tell about it. Guess what? In this and this street, there is this, and you stand there and you can win and you can donate and you can get on your checking account and whatever. So it revitalizes the entire essence of the branch, how to bring traffic inside, how to get people engaged through the physical abilities of your branch. It also slows people down and draws secondary physical attention. How? You see, this mother with the two children is standing there playing happily. You become curious what's going on there. You go there, you look there yourself. What a great idea, how beautifully it is delivered. A very different idea from the UK, BIQ, behavioral IQ, gamified client profiling through behavioral IQ by the methodologies of Daniel Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize winning economist, psychologist, who had amazing research about loss aversion, about financial self-confidence, about risk attitude, about financial approaches, about time bias, about cognitive bias in financial services, about financial behavior, the concept of people about money and finance and value and risk and time. So look at this. Being human is complicated. Behavioral IQ explains. Our decisions are well wrapped in our emotions. How we feel can often cloud us from the facts. Beam, this is the name of one of their products. Beam is a free app, very important that it's free, that helps you to separate the two, your emotions and reality, rationality, objectivity in finance is very important. It helps you measure and understand the very inconsistencies that make us human, our behaviors. And it's gamified, it's fun to play. Why is it a good business for BIQ, for behavioral IQ? Because on the institutional side, they are selling the same app for 125 British pounds plus VAT per year per financial planner as a subscription. Also, your bank can get an API to this fun, gamified application and rebrand it and offer it to its clients. Why is it good for the institutional side? You get unprecedented quality of insights into your clients. You will be able to offer much better loans, savings, investments, next products as a financial planner, as well as a traditional bank, wealth manager, robo-advisor, or whatever. And the insights are fun. Like, for example, a die is thrown once. If it lands on 1, 2, or 3, you lose 40 British pounds. If it lands on 4, 5, or 6, you win 100 British pounds. Would you play this game? Well, think about it, and think about it seriously. Would you pay 40 pounds if it's 1, 2, 3? Now, would you play it? You can only play once. You cannot take the statistical average outcome. You cannot play it 100, 1000, or near infinite times. Well, would you play it if you lose 80 pounds and win 100? I leave the question open. Based on different versions of these games, they come up, for example, with a loss sensitivity. And you can compare yourself to your peer group, to the UK average, how your financial loss sensitivity measures to the general public, and other beautiful things. Another game which I like. Which would you choose? 25 pounds after 14 days, 2 weeks down the road, or 30 pounds after 30 days? Which one do you want? Choose now. What if your choice is between 25 British pounds in 2 weeks' time or 26 British pounds in 1 month time? You see, and they ask you many, many questions like this. You can play around with this. It's fun. You always have to click one click, very important, especially for young people. And you are learning about your finances. And if it's offered to you by your bank, bank or by your financial advisor, wealth planner, wealth management company, robo-advisor, or whatever, then you can even provide them an opportunity to provide you much better products and services. Okay, something very exciting and beautiful from the United States again. A lottery where everyone wins? Is it possible? Well, look, it is. Omnitrium, what a brand name. By the way, this brand name comes from omnitrium perfectum from Latin, meaning everything which is three is perfect. Think about the religious philosophy meaning of this. Anyway, omnitrium came up with a genius solution. What they said is this. Everyone loves to win. Do you like to win? I like to win. Everyone loves to win. And over half of us buy lottery tickets. I don't buy lottery tickets. Do you buy lottery tickets? So everyone loves to win, and over half of us buy lottery tickets regularly to the tune of 70 billion US dollars in the United States each year. Did you hear this? 70 billion US dollars is spent, the GDP of some small countries is spent annually in the USA on lottery. While dreaming of winning big is entertaining, these dollars are gone forever, mostly 99% of this. When you spend your money on a lottery ticket, chances are, and you know it very well, it's gone. You have spent this money. It went away. It's lost. Forget it. Goodbye. Now, what Omnitrium offers is to keep this money, buy lottery tickets from Omnitrium, and keep the price of these lottery tickets. How? Why not put some of that money in a prize-linked savings account? You get the opportunity to win cash prizes, and your deposits stay in your bank's FDIC insured, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the deposit insurance of the United States, account. You are already a winner and banking on the upside. How does Omnitrium do it? They have contracts with banks from all over the United States. And the banks offer this. You put your deposit in, and as a reward for putting the deposit in, instead of interest, we know that nominal interest rates are currently rather down anyway, and instead of welcome benefits and financial incentives, you participate in a big interbank pool of drawing, lottery. So in fact, you can win a lot of money. And for every predefined unit of new deposit, you can deposit regularly or a lump sum, you get more and more lottery tickets. You have more and more chance to win. It enhances financial health. You keep the money instead of spending it on lottery tickets, real lottery tickets where your money is gone. It's about partnering with banks. It's a prize-linked savings program. A prize-linked savings account works just like a regular savings account, except for one really cool feature they explain. Every dollar deposited gets you a digital ticket that is automatically entered into monthly, quarterly, as well as annual drawings to win cash and cool stuff. I put here an example. For example, Centennial Bank cooperates with Omnitrium. They call this product because you brand it for yourself as a bank, stands to win. And the tagline is, it pays to save. It pays to save. Anyway, how beautiful it is, simple and fun. And let me come with a huge idea next from China. We talked a lot about the United States already. So the big question is, can the subsidiary of a subsidiary of a subsidiary make a significant difference for humanity? And the answer is apparently yes. How? You know Alibaba. Alibaba Group is a holding. The core activity is e-commerce. It's the largest e-commerce company in China. It's the Chinese equivalent of Amazon. But instead of Jeff Bezos, we know him, it's owned by Jack Ma. And the ownership structure is much more complex, but I am simplifying. It was started by Jack Ma. Alibaba, as a secondary, tertiary activity, also has a financial subsidiary called Ant Financial. Ant Financial has a payments subsidiary, in fact, a digital wallet, an amazing digital mobile wallet called Alipay. I am sure you have heard about Alipay. It's the second largest mobile wallet in China. Why? Because the largest is WeChat Pay, owned by Tencent. Anyway, Alipay in August 2016, less than 4 years ago, started up its own subsidiary. So we are talking about the subsidiary of a subsidiary of a subsidiary of a company which has a core activity even outside financial services. But how the subsidiary of a subsidiary of a subsidiary can pull off a huge thing in financial services related to financial services, even within a holding which has a core activity of e-commerce. So how? In August 2016, Ant Forest was created. Ant Forest is a game. It's linked to your Alipay wallet. And as you buy things, as you pay for things with your smartphone through your Alipay wallet, mobile commerce, QR code based proximity payments, and so on. When you spend on something green, something which saves carbon dioxide, something which is good for the environment, when you spend for something good for the environment, you get reward points. In fact, you get green energy points. Now, if you collect a lot of green energy points, you can send it to Ant Forest. They take your green energy points, and in return, they plant a tree. If you collect even more green energy points, they plant another tree. And then you collect green energy points again, and they plant another tree. In fact, if you have not so many green energy points, you can pull it together with your family, with other people. And then together you have enough to get a tree planted. What happened? In the first 3 years, 500 million, you hear me well, 500 million, let me repeat it, 500 million people in China started to play this game and started to count and look at and use through Ant forest their green energy points linked to and earned by low carbon activities using shared bikes, ordering green takeout. What is green takeout? Takeout without too much wrapping, too many boxes, plastic cutleries, and all the stuff, plastic bags and things. Online payments for things which you could pay offline. Public transport instead of using your car, walking, and so on and so on and so on. There are many green activities. So 500 million people started to use it in the first 3 years. In the first 3 years, 100 million, you hear me well, 100 million plus trees were planted in China by ant forest. It's a nice big forest, 100 million trees. In fact, 100 million trees take up approximately 100,000 hectares. Ant forest, this game, has created 100,000 hectares of new forest in China. But the target, which they want to reach by 2021, is to excuse me, bring ant forest to the level and to the capacity that this app, this project alone contributes to a 5% equivalent carbon dioxide emission reduction in China. They play big, they think big. Now, why is it a twin engine of environmental protection? Think about how smart this game is. Because on one side, you are planting hundreds of millions of trees. But on the other side, you are beautifully motivating people to change their daily habits and thereby creating hundreds of millions of tons of carbon dioxide reduction by making people do green, low carbon activities. Why? Because they want to earn these points. Inner Mongolia, Gansu, Qinghai, Shanxi, all these parts of China are getting millions and millions of new trees every week through this program. How beautiful it is. Okay. There are many, many other examples of gamification. BBVA Bank in Spain awards prizes for watching product videos. PNC Bank in the United States creates mobile shaking deposits. What is this? You want to deposit some money into savings, and you can literally shake your phone, and through the gyroscope, your money goes into the savings. How nice it is. M Bank in Poland, an absolutely amazing bank, gives badges to you, badges of honor, for learning product features. You learn and you see, and you are proud in the community that you have learned it. And there are many, many other examples from the 25,000 banks around the world actively serving retail customers. I have listed some of the beautiful examples in this presentation. On a practical basis, I want to call your attention to 10 best practices, and I want you to follow some of these best practices when you are creating your winning gamification project. So, number one, enjoy it and share the joy. Well, there are so many hard things in banking. This one is joy. Do it in a way that you enjoy. Do it in a way that your colleagues enjoy. Target millennials and Generation Z. They are generally tech savvy. They are online. They love to play games. They get hooked on games. They will appreciate it, and they don't get good games very often from banks. Your bank has to be the one making them happy. Link your gamification efforts to Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual reality, as well as corporate social responsibility. You remember Ant Forest. There is a very strong corporate social responsibility aspect of this. But I also want you to go this IoT, AI, VR, AR, VR way ahead, because it will get a great boost quite soon. Later, I will discuss why. So you can front run this trend. Attract media attention. Well, media likes to talk about banks. It's your choice if you give them a chance to talk about you in a very, very positive and fun way. Fuel competition. Well, some people like to admit it. Some people dislike to admit it, but most people love to compete. And competition inspires them, and they love to win. If they win, they are happy. If they lose, they want to play again and win and learn and improve and get more points and know more about your products and save more carbon dioxide emission. Cooperate with gaming and esports. Gaming, computer games, PlayStation, Xbox, everything is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and your Generation Z future clients and your millennial current clients are there. Esports is a big thing. Banks have to tap into it more and more. Side note, I wrote it in the bottom of on this slide. Gaming and banking are getting nearer to each other in general. Tencent, the competitor of Alibaba, running WeChat Pay, is in fact originally a computer games, now more a mobile phone games company. And they are very active in financial services. In Singapore, one of the 7 digital banking licenses will in fact be distributed to a gaming company. They understand that gaming logic is needed for the young people. But think about another aspect. Game currencies, in-game closed loops, stores of value, like V-Bucks in Fortnite. Anyway, we could go on and on with this. Beautiful topic in itself. Next one. Add financial wellness and financial awareness aspects, like a personal financial management tool. Gamify it. This is very important, especially in hard times. Create product data synergy. What does it mean? You always have a hard time when you want to get high quality data in a good structure in a traditional bank. Build new products with data in your mind. How you will get superior client data and how you will turn it into superior client experience, user interfaces, user experience, insights, intelligence. Now, both sides are very much linked to gamifications, but one of the best techniques to get more and more and more data from the client to make your product more personalized, more insightful, more valuable is through gamification, especially when it's about the one-click generation, when it's about the instant generation, the people who want everything immediately, anytime, millennials, Generation Z. Think big. Can you remember? and forest, but start small. Go ahead, do it, learn it, practice it yourself. And finally, number 10, include MSMEs, micro, small, and mid-sized enterprises, startups, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, self-employed people, gig economy, and digital nomads. Here is a gap. Here is a segment you can beautifully attract. Why? Because most gamification efforts by banks around the world, even the best practices, are focusing on typical retail clients. But globally, more than 40%, almost half of millennials and Generation Z, your new target group, is in fact working for micro, small, and mid-sized enterprises. They are having their own startups. They are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, self-employed, gig economy workers, digital nomads. So do a game for them. Gamify their banking, and you will tap into somewhat of a blue ocean, or at least a segment you can target especially very well. Why did I tell you to front run by AI, AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, extended reality, IoT, Internet of Things? The 5G mobile communications protocol will come to us more and more. Data transfer will be approximately 1,000 times faster. Latency will be approximately 1,000 times shorter. And this will create better and better and better use cases for augmented reality and virtual reality. Go ahead, be there. And finally, before I say goodbye to you, before we complete this short masterclass on gamification in banking, let me show you something very interesting. Maybe listening to my examples, you have told yourself, oh, yes, these are beautiful things, but maybe it needs a lot of resources. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe we cannot do it. Let me please, therefore, bring you a true story, a beautiful example, a human story, a story which talks to my heart as well as to my mind. I will bring you here the story of Luan Mayen. Luan Mayen from South Sudan. Luan Mayen was born in South Sudan in 1994. Soon after his birth, he and his mother had to flee South Sudan and go to Uganda, to a refugee camp. They had to move south from South Sudan to Uganda. They had to walk more than 400 miles, basically without food, basically without safe opportunities to drink. Some parents abandoned their children on the way, babies, because they couldn't carry them. There were bomb attacks. There were wild animals. But Luan Mayen, on the left, and his mother made it to the refugee camp in Uganda. Luan Mayen spent most of his first 22 years of life in a refugee camp in Uganda, North Uganda. No electricity, some solar panels, but no reliable electricity, no school. But something miraculous happened. One day, when Luan was 12 years old, he had to go to the office of the refugee camp. He had to go there because they were registering the people. And when he was 12 years old and he went to the office of the refugee camp where he spent almost all of his life, he saw a computer. In the office, when he was 12 years old, he saw the first computer in his life in 2006. And he just went there to register himself, but he started to dream. He started to dream that one day he will work on this computer. He started to dream that one day he will have a computer. His mother understood this dream, and in 3 years' time, with 3 years of work, she saved almost $300. She was sewing the clothes of the people in the refugee camp. Every month, she saved $8. And after 3 years and a little, she had $300. And from these $300, she bought a second-hand used laptop to Luan. And Luan was very happy. The dream came true. His dream came true. And he started to learn things on his laptop. It was very hard. There was no good internet. There was no good electricity. But he started to teach himself to code. What was his motivation? Well, let me please answer with Luan's own words. My motivation was the opportunity to be alive. It was a journey of life and death for me. So he started to teach himself to code because he thought maybe with this skill he will be able to survive and somehow escape this refugee camp. And when he taught himself to code, he created a smartphone game. He created a smartphone game called Salam. And this game, Salam, is about something very important and something that Luan knew more about than Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and Yale educated politicians. He never went to school. What was the only topic he knew more about than many decision makers, many of us? It was the life of refugees. So this application, this game, is about the life of refugees. In the game, you have to survive as a refugee. When participants in the game as refugees need to buy food, need to buy water, need to buy medicine, they can make a real purchase, an in-app purchase going to real life refugees, and the money they spend in the game to buy the things to survive go to real life refugees for real survival. His game was bought by the World Bank, and Luan used this money to escape the refugee camp. Luan now has his own software company. He is a CEO in Washington, and recently he won the Best Programmer Prize in Los Angeles, starting his journey from the war in South Sudan, spending his first 22 years in a refugee camp with very little electricity and no school. When someone buys food in the game, you are actually buying someone food in a refugee camp. How beautiful it is. If Luan could do it from $300, you can do it with 300 million, 3 billion, 30 billion, 300 billion, or 3 trillion US dollars total assets on your balance sheet. Gamification is beautiful. It was an honor and a pleasure to give you this video masterclass about gamification in banking. It was great talking to you. Thank you for your kind attention. I am very thankful. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel for much more banking innovation content to come. One more thing, when you subscribe, also like this video, because recently YouTube only keeps your subscription if you like at least one video in the given channel. Otherwise, after approximately half an hour, they cancel your subscription. So if I may ask you, in order for your subscription to really work, and in case you like it, please like the video, please subscribe, as well as push the little ring next to the subscription button to get notifications about new content from me regarding banking innovation. Thank you again very, very much for your attention. It was great talking to you. Go ahead in gamification. Enjoy it. Bring it to the world. Bring it to the media. And everyone will like it. Thank you for your very, very kind